I'm telling you what, Superman on steroids. I'm telling you, Frank Kennedy. Where do you see the guy? What do you hear the guy? What do you marvel in his achievements? But before we get all that started, I got to go do a little housekeeping. Frank will be along just a second. I'll entertain you while I do this. Oh, I could hide beneath the wings of the bluebird as she sings. 6 o'clock alarm would never ring, making it public, but it rings and I rise. Oh, there I am. Okay, we are public. I can stop all that. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, my new best friend, Frank Kennedy. Hello, Frank. How are you?
Jim, I am phenomenal. It's a great Monday, busy as could be, shaking hands, kissing babies all day, and I get to hang out with you for a little while. I mean, how great could it be? Ready to go.
It's a wonderful day. I want to thank you for the AirPods, and I started to use them.
It was actually my fault. So it wasn't your technical.
It wasn't me at all.
It was mine. I'm the technical guy, and it ended up being mine. That's great. That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. Well, hey, anyway, tell me about where are you right
now? Location, I am in Springfield, Pennsylvania.
Springfield, Pennsylvania. That's like a suburb of Philadelphia, right?
Suburb of Philadelphia, about 25 minutes from Philadelphia. Most parts of Philadelphia there for us. Been here 5 years. Our dealership moved here about 5 years ago. We needed a little more space. We didn't have the space we were at. We're about a mile away. So we moved down the road here about 5 years ago.
I was born in Abington.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, you're right up. Was that Bucks County or that's Montgomery?
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah. I was a baby, you know.
Oh, okay.
Hey, make yourself a little taller. You look like one of the dwarfs there. There you go.
There you go.
Look for Snow White any minute. Okay, now you're 100 cars a month. Hey, we're building up some audience here. Got some viewers. We generally get about 20, 30 people on the live broadcast, but we'll get 6, 7, 8, 9,000 on the replays.
Oh, it's great. That's what it's all about, right? I hate when everybody picks up their phone and they go live and they're like, all right, we're just going to sit here and wait for a bunch of people to get on. All right, we're going to wait. And they wait for like 5 minutes to start talking. That's not the point. Everybody shuts you off, right? If you just sat here and waited for viewers to get on, it's not about the live. It's about the replay, right? And then Facebook will just make it so everybody sees it because you went organic live right from Facebook. So, if anybody's out there listening, stop waiting to get your live started. Start talking, get your point across right away.
Get it across. I mean,
that's right.
And be real, for heaven's sake. Right. Be real. I've done literally, hundreds, if not 1,000 of these broadcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And they're cumulative.
Yeah. It's the only way I know how to be is real. I don't fake anything.
Now, okay, well, let's get down to it. In 1976, no, where were you in 1976?
I was 2 years and a few months away from even being, probably a year and a half out being.
So in other words, I have underwear older than you.
That could possibly be, yes. I'm 41 years old today, or this month.
Wearing it right now. But anyway, anyway, I walked into a car dealership in 1976, and I said I'd like to be a car salesman. And they put me in a room with a bunch of Jackie B. Cooper beta tapes and said, do not come out till you are fully trained.
Yep.
And they gave me basically a worksheet and said, go get a deposit and bring the check to the manager. And
yep. That's exactly the way that it worked for me. I still remember walked in, like, this is going to be your desk. I walked in, I said, I want to be a car salesman. I found an ad in the paper. What makes you think you could sell cars? I said, I have a passion for it. I'm in sales right now. I have a Honda, and then I got on common ground with my boss because I had a Mont Blanc that I had won from my pen that I had won from my previous job, and he had one. So that was our breaking point, and that was the icebreaker right there. We started talking about pens and, got on common ground, and he loved me, and they hired me.
What was your previous job? What'd you do?
I worked for a company called NRG. They're a marketing firm for Green Mountain Energy, which back then all the electric companies were deregulating. So you had to switch your generation of your electricity anyway back then. So it was
you were in sales. You were already selling.
I've been in sales my whole life, man. My mom did Avon door to door, so I walked around with her. That job. I mean, I feel like I've been in sales my whole life. Where I grew up, you either got beat up or you talked your way out of it real quick. So, you were selling no matter what, you're
Oh,
always selling yourself.
you have got such synergy and common background. I was a salesman when I was 8.
That's right. I was too. So I was walking around
Yeah.
my mom doing Avon door to door, and she would not just sell; she would get invited into people's houses. Actually sit down and have coffee or tea and cookies and whatever. I watched her doing that, from a young age, and kind of learned how to talk to people, how to actually communicate. If you can communicate with people now, and you have knowledge, and you have a little bit of talent, you can dominate the marketplace in just about any sales job that you do. Eye contact is like the craziest thing nowadays, right? I have people come in and they're looking down and all over the place. It's just, if you can find somebody that can make eye contact with you, right, you can have a regular conversation with just about anybody.
Oh, I could sell a car in an elevator.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, that's the most awkward place, right? As soon as you walk in, I always make light of the situation every time. When I walk into an elevator because it's just awkwardly silent. I don't do awkward. Let's put it that way.
I have a line I love. I walk into a crowded elevator, and
Yep.
as soon as the door shuts, I say, "Now, I suppose you folks wonder why I called this meeting."
That's it. Like what?
They look around and it's wild.
That's it.
So we've been selling all our lives. Third month in the business, I set the record for that dealership. I made $4,500.
Wow, in 76, that's
In
big
76,
money, right? That's like
that was
10, that's 10, 15 grand nowadays. That's
I
big
mean,
money.
I had been a general sales manager of a radio station, a major radio station, that had never made that kind of money as an executive in an executive position.
That's crazy. It's great, right? Well, because everything starts with the sale, right? If as a sales department we don't sell anything, then you never get to finance, you never get to service the car, you never get to get body shop, right? So at the base of everything at a dealership, sales, to me, should get paid the brunt of the money because they're where it all starts, right? So that's everything. If you don't have a sale, you have nothing, right? So we need to sell. We need to
As a
sell everything out
manager,
there.
a manager, I think like a manager.
Mm-hmm.
Every time a sale is in progress, everything else gets out of the way.
That's right. That's exactly the way we think around here. 100%.
A sale in progress, most important event happening in a dealership.
Mm-hmm.
There's no dealer trade. There's nothing more important than that sale happening right now.
We all agree here. Trust me, 100%.
So now my CRM was 2 flat file Rolodexes.
Mm-hmm. It's not far off from what mine is.
Telephone and 10 key.
Yep, that's it.
And networking, sold cars out of the want ads. So then, if I sold 30 cars in a month, and that did happen, that was the end of the world.
Right.
I mean, it's
domination.
That was domination. I never looked over my shoulder at the number 2 guy.
Why would you? If you're dominating, you're not worried about competition, right? So competition is for people that are average, slightly above average. They're worried about what everybody else is doing. The only competition that I have is myself, my mental state, where I know that I can get my number 2 and how to scale my business to the levels that I know that I should be at. That's where my competition comes in. Everything else is domination for me.
Well, you've heard the Zieglerism on average, what average is.
I've heard just about every one of them.
Well, you heard mine?
Go ahead.
Average is the exact point where suck starts.
It's the truth. I mean, it absolutely is the truth, right? Everybody says, what do you average? I say, I don't. Right? I never give anybody. I don't.
Average is the beginning of the sucks.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Now, so here you are, you're Piazza Honda, you're up there at 30 miles, 40 miles outside of Philadelphia Metro, and you're pumping out 100.
Which almost none of my business comes from. So I don't really get a lot of business from Philadelphia.
So you get
there's like a suburb of Philadelphia. It's like West Philadelphia that I have a pretty big following of clients. I sold a couple people in the neighborhoods cars there, and they love me. They come down here. But like Philadelphia, the city part, I don't have a big clientele. Everything's right here, Delaware County, Pennsylvania. So it's not rural, but it's not a city. You know what I mean? So it's not like we're in the middle of Chicago or Philadelphia or San Francisco or something like that. New York, we're not that.
When was the first time you sold 100 units in a month?
about 4 years ago.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great feeling. I knew
Well,
I had it.
what led up to that?
Uh, Man, a lot of work, a lot of hard work. Like people now see that I work some weeks 4 days a week, 5 days a week. Last month, I only worked, I think, 19 days. I sold 103 cars, and everybody's like, "Oh, there's no way. There's no way. It's impossible." Well, you know what? If it is impossible, if I was, I didn't get all the referrals and repeat business, but it would be impossible if I didn't put the work in. Like when I first started, I mean, once I realized that this was a career and started treating it as a career, I put in 70 hours a week. I mean, I was here hustling every single day, shaking hands, kissing babies, like I was running for office, right? I wasn't trying to sell a car. I was trying to get a vote. And then I'm trying to win by multiplication. If you're just selling one car at a time, right? One car, one person, one car, one person, you're never going to win. You're always just going to be stuck in that average-ish range. You need to win by multiplication. The way you win by multiplication is put yourself out on social media, tag the person, make sure they're sharing it in groups, make sure you're asking for referrals, make sure you're doing a service walk, make sure you're doing all the things that make people say, "Wow, I
No,
can't
wait a
believe I
minute.
just won a car."
Wait. You're going through the steps.
Yeah, the magic.
You're not just getting them in, writing them up, and then your staff handles it.
I wish I had a staff. That would be
I
great, but I
mean,
don't.
all the people
I
that
don't.
work for you, all your support people.
Now listen. So in the
I ask questions which I know the answers.
So in the past year, I have commandeered one finance guy. He does about 85% of my deals. That's to keep me compartmentalized rather than me being spread out between five guys all over the place and having paperwork all over the place. He doesn't mind doing paperwork. I help him with a lot of product, warranty, everything. So he doesn't mind helping me. It's a symbiotic relationship. He knows there's things that I don't like to do, and he has things that he doesn't like to do, and we both take care of each other's shortcomings. Now, in the past 6 months, I'm getting old now, so the dealership has allowed me to use one of the lot guys to change tags, gas cars, bring in the details. So am I doing that stuff? Absolutely not. I mean, I do when I have to, right, but absolutely not. Most of the time I'm going over all the cars with everybody, but he used to be a salesman, so we get really busy if I have 4 people here, 3 people here, and everybody's in that same, stage of buying the car at the end, then, I can have him jump in and help me out a little bit. Do I have an assistant? Absolutely not. Am I trying to get one? Absolutely. The only way that I'm going to be able to scale my business is to be able to change my processes. So I am actively looking for a millennial woman who has different influences that I have, that has drive, and that wants to help me dominate and move up the ranks and learn from me. So that's what I'm looking for right now.
I've got a couple dealerships that I've worked with through the years. We actually created an apprentice program.
Mm-hmm.
And the apprentice program is a full-time assistant for the top producers.
Yep.
That eventually becomes a salesperson, and then we get another one.
Right. So I thought about that, and I don't want to say I don't have the time, but to me, if I have to explain something more than once, I'm the type of personality, I'm just going to do it, right? So if you're going to be my person, then you're going to be my person. Like, I don't want somebody to actually sell. I don't need another salesman here for me. I just need somebody to help me with the prospecting and some of the paperwork and everything to get through that'll help me grow my business. Because right now, I could definitely sell more cars. I sold 137 last August or the August before, whatever it is. All the months run into each other anymore for me. But
so you had 137 car month,
and it was easy. It was easy. It flowed like you would not believe. At the end of the month, I'm like, there's no way I sold that many cars. It was like one of the easiest months ever because everything just lined up for you. But to
how many of those came off of social media?
A lot. But they were customers that most of the time I would have had anyway. Their friends, their family. But the reason I ended up getting on social media, because if you ask any of my friends 8-9 years ago, I'll never get on Facebook. I'll never put myself out there like that. I told everybody, right? And then one day I walked into the dealership. I went out to get lunch. I walked in, and one of my buddies that was one of my best friends in high school, and this is only like 4 years removed, is sitting there with another salesman buying a car. I'm like, John, what's up, man? What are you doing? He's like,
You doing what?
I didn't know you worked here. You didn't know I worked here? I said, I tell everybody. He goes, dude, I didn't know you worked here, man. I was on Facebook. I didn't see you. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get on Facebook. So I just started. I never stopped. Like, that just drove me. That like blew my head up. I'm like, man, I'm losing customers. So, to me, I just always wanted to stay ever present in front of everybody.
Right now, I've got like 150,000 friends and followers on all the social media,
Hmm.
and they're what I call relevant people.
Yeah, sure. That's
They're
all you
they're
want.
they're people that are in my world. They're people in the car business.
Right.
You know, I have a lot of friend requests every day, but I don't friend
I
people that.
have I have tens
Yeah,
of thousands of friend requests sitting there for my personal page.
yeah,
The only way I'll accept you is if you could actually buy something from me, refer somebody to me, or you're doing something inventive that I actually want to see
yeah.
every day, right? So I have all these car salesmen. They get angry at me. They'll send me a message. I friend requested you 3 times. I say, okay, well, you friend requested me. You're in Iowa selling cars. I clicked on your page. Doesn't say what you do. You haven't posted a post in like 2 weeks. Has nothing to do with cars. I don't need you, right? I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be ignorant. I'm sure you're a great person, but I don't need you in my feed all day. That's not what Facebook to me is, right? So, if I start a business, I only have a business page. If I started a business page, I mean, I think I do. I have like 70 likes on there or something like that. But for me, all my prospecting for sales is to make everybody feel like family, make everybody feel like friends, right? So it's not all here I am selling another car. That's not about me. That's about the client, right? That's about getting in with the client, getting in front of the client's circle, because I just don't want my circle to see everything. I need everybody else's circle to be able to go in there and see it. So that's why you're tagging the customer. That's why your friend and your client, who ends up being your friends, will be like, hey, I just see you down, at the whatever that movie I went to see yesterday with the Lion King, with your kids yesterday. How was the movie, right? So they become your friends. They know your kids. They know what you're doing, right? Who would you rather go buy from? Some car salesman, some furniture salesman? This applies anywhere. Some real estate agent, or one of your friends, right? I always want to buy from one of my friends, and the only
Look at
friends that I
us. Look at
remember,
us. Look at us right now.
right? We're
We are
friends. How are we
humanizing
friends?
we're humanizing ourselves.
That's exactly the word. You humanize yourselves. You're not
Hmm.
like just this guy on Facebook, this Max Headroom from back in the day. I was a talking head in a TV back in the day, right? You're actually humanizing yourself to everybody. So that's been my secret to marketing. That's not sales. That's marketing. You don't use Facebook to actually sell. Use Facebook to stay in front of everybody, because if you're not in front of everybody, if I don't know you, I could never remember to buy from you or refer to you. So I might have friends that do things that I need a service for, but they don't ever post about it. I don't know what they do. So I could never say, hey, all right, Tom, I need my, plumbing done. I don't know Tom's a plumber. I know him for 20 years, but I don't know Tom's a plumber, because he doesn't put it out there. Either he's scared or lazy or just doesn't think it's relevant.
And it absolutely amazes me that people don't get what we're talking about. They don't understand.
Right. And
Right
then,
now, I'm
but then,
cashing about $35,000 a month on my social media.
that's yeah, it's,
I'm
it's
not
mailbox
selling
money.
anything. People
Yeah, it's
people
mailbox
are
money.
throwing money at me.
Right. YouTube, it's mailbox money.
Mailbox money. You understand?
Absolutely,
And that's
100%.
not that's not.
Passive income is the only way you're ever going to win
Mhm.
in life. Period. If you're working for your dollar every single day, you're never going to win.
That's not counting my other revenues and whatnot. But just
That's why you're the alpha dog.
it's a lot of fun being me.
Sure it is.
Now you got me coughing. If I died right now, I'd ask God to send me back again as me.
That's right. That's it.
Yeah,
I high
yeah.
five the mirror every morning. I love being me, man. I got to set my mental state ready to go. If you don't love being you, nobody's going to love being with you, right? So you need to take that approach with everybody. People walk around here, the dealership. Frank, how you doing? Oh, another great day at Piazza Honda. How are you? And they're like, wow, I'm blown away. Usually
How
people are
you
like,
doing, Jim? It's the best day of my entire life, and I'm
right, another
anticipating a
great day,
better day
at
tomorrow.
Piazza Honda. Just when I think it can't get any better, it does, right?
I'm
And
looking for
people
a
are like,
better day
man,
tomorrow, and today's the best day of my entire life.
that's right. Keep it going, right? It's all about positivity. Positivity breeds positive everything. People, thoughts, actions, everything.
You
So
got it.
that's really what it comes down to.
Okay, you walk out on the lot. You got an appointment, or
Mhm.
maybe do you still catch any ups?
You know what? I took my first customer that wasn't referred into me last Wednesday, and that was like the longest time. There were salespeople tied up. She was standing at the front. I didn't want her standing there. I tried to go find somebody. There was nobody there. I said, just come on in. Welcome to Piazza Honda. Let me grab a salesperson for you. Introduce myself. Showed her where the coffee and spring water was. Sat her down. Nobody else was available. I actually ended up selling her a car because I didn't want her to sit and wait for another salesman, but I don't take up. So I don't want to take anything away from the sales force that's here. All my business is repeat referral business. Every once in a while, I'll get an internet client to be like, hey, this guy's in New York and we need to sell this car that's been on the lot for 60 days. Could you make a phone call? Absolutely. You know what I mean? I'll help out, do anything at that point. But for the most part, I'm too busy all day with my own business, generating from my own CRM, from my own Facebook, from my own text messaging, from my own emails. I get up not every morning, but get up at least 3 days a week pretty early to start working, right? I go through old school. I get a yellow piece of paper and pen, and I go through every form of communication: text message, email, instant message, Instagram, whatever it is, and I make sure I write down every single point of contact that's not 100% handled, so that I make sure that I'm getting back to everybody. You never want to miss an opportunity, and you never want anybody to think, Frank's too busy and never got back to you, right? So that's the one thing that would really get under my skin. So I always make sure that I'm trying to get back to everybody.
I'm sitting at this computer every morning at 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's it.
4 a.m. I mean, already walked the dog, already had my first cup.
Four's a little early for me. Maybe when I get a little older, I'll do 4.
Yeah.
Four's a little early for me. 5, I'm good. 4.
4. Yeah, 4 in the morning. Well, I've already walked the dog. I had a cup of coffee. I'm at the screens.
Yeah.
And I'm going through planning my day.
Gotcha.
I'm putting it all together. Same scenario.
Right.
And now here you got your appointment comes in, and Frank shakes hands. He meets the people, greets them, and then you find out what their budget is, right?
Absolutely not. Dumbest question.
Wait a minute. Oh,
dumbest question in the history of questions.
Where'd you get that from?
Listen, so here's my thing.
I hope you learned that from me. I've been
I wish I
teaching
could
that
say that.
I've been teaching that for 30 years. Yeah.
I actually didn't have many mentors when I was scaling my business. It's a good thing that I didn't have a lot of mentors, because back then everybody was teaching how to sell 20 to 30 cars. That was like the pinnacle. That was the mountain.
That was it.
Right. So if I listened to those guys or girls, there was a lot of guys back then. There wasn't many female trainers back then when I was doing it, but I probably would have thought that I was king of the mountain, right? But I knew there was more. I knew it. So I've actually built my business without a lot of mentors and a lot of, the jargon or the slogans or the word tracks that everybody was teaching back then, and the marketing that everybody was teaching back then, or I'd probably be stuck at 40, 50 cars right now.
Because your mentality would have been there.
Because my mentality would have been totally different. Not saying that they're, not relevant and couldn't help a lot of people, but for me, it wasn't the key to success.
The stupidest question people ask a consumer: what's your budget?
So I finally realized this probably about 7 or 8 years ago, right? And that would be like the first question that I would ask almost every time. Why? Because salespeople want to shortcut everything, right? So you figure if you could figure out what it is, you could fit a car into their actual budget. Well, the problem is not that everybody lies to you, but everybody doesn't really know what their budget is. So if you ask somebody what it is, I might say $300 a month. The problem is I start showing you merchandise that's going to try to fit into that $300 a month thing. It's not nothing they actually ever even wanted in the first place. And then they go down the street and spend $580 a month. And you're like, what happened? Like, why in the world, they did not buy a car from me? And they spent almost $600 down there because they did the proper steps. They actually sold the customer what they wanted. They went through all the proper steps. They asked all the proper questions, right? To make sure that they were on the right vehicle. I would never go over a price with a customer unless I knew it was the right car for them. Now, there is some circumstances that people come in and they absolutely have a budget. And I want to respect that budget 100%. But I also want to make sure that I'm doing my job to the best of my ability and giving them the professionalism that they deserve. So somebody might come in and they might only think they can afford $200 a month, $250 a month. But there's other ways in life to save money and not sacrifice what you actually need for yourself or your family to drive. I have a customer that she absolutely had to be at $250 a month, and Mrs. Jensen, and she still refers me over 1 billion customers now. I said, we were back and forth. We couldn't get the car she wanted, $250. That was the car she wanted. And I asked her, who she had her insurance company with. We went ahead. We saved her like $30 on her insurance. She, went ahead and switched it. But then we took the next step. I asked her who her cable company was. And she's like, why do you care about my cable company? I'm like, because I just called Verizon and they dropped my bill $100 a month because I told them that I was switching to Comcast. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I said, let's do it right now on speakerphone. I dropped her bill like $80 a month. So she went out and net at like $170 a month in a car that she didn't think she could afford, right? So there's other ways to figure out if budget is really the obstacle, rather than taking all the gross out of a car, or taking taking it and trying to sell somebody something they don't want, don't need, or they're not going to buy in the first place. There's other ways if budget really is the argument or is the hurdle to actually get to an end of the means.
How many deductions are you claiming?
A lot.
Boy, I've been talking to my consumer now. How many deductions? You have 4 children. You got 3 children. You have 2. How many deductions are you claiming? Well, what the consumer generally say is, well, I want to get money back at the end of the year instead of.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you went to your office manager and put in the correct number of deductions, would that not put another $50 a month in your household?
Right.
So creative ways to create more income.
There's creative ways to make sure that everybody's getting the full professionalism that they're coming to me for, right? So people don't come to me for a dog and pony show. They come to me for, the deal. They come to me for the efficiency. I just had a lady come in. She was in and out of here in under an hour, bought a brand new Honda Pilot, traded her out of her lease. She's blown away. She can't believe that she bought a car. She couldn't even get a pizza that fast on a Friday night. She said she is ecstatic, and she's already online raving about me to, in these groups, our mainline parenting site groups. So, it's all about over promising and over delivering. I don't believe in under promising and then trying to over deliver. I'm going to over promise. I'm going to tell you everything in the world that I'm going to deliver to you plus some, and then I'm actually going to over deliver on it too every single time.
Fantastic.
And if I don't, I expect to be held accountable. So, to me, if I could sell more cars, but the process waters down, that's not what I'm going to do, right? Because A, the management probably wouldn't want that, right? B, that's not the reputation that I've built in the car business this long. So, if I could scale my business and it got out of hand where I actually couldn't handle it, then I would scale back, because I would not want to water down my customer experience, because in the end, there's going to be a big tidal wave that's going to come wipe you out, right? So to me, it's all about the customer experience.
Number one reason people blow deals. What do you think?
I could have like 6,500 of them, but not giving the customer the information and trying to force them through their sales process. To me, I tell everybody when they come in, this is your sales process. I'm not going to try to force our sales process on you. So however you want to buy your car, if you want your trade appraised first, you want numbers, you want me to build value in the test drive, you want all the information up front, you want the car delivered to your house, whatever it is, you want to talk to the business manager, we're going to give you that opportunity, right? So, Mr. Ziegler comes in and he's, Frank, I'm not here to buy a car today. I'm just here to look. Great, Jim. Most people don't put their shoes on. They walk out of the house, say, I'm going to go buy a car, right? They're looking for a dealership they trust. They're looking for a salesperson that's going to give them all the information. Like I said, it's not my sales process. It's yours. My job is to walk you through, give you all the information, present all the information to you. Then we can make an educated decision together if this is the right place for you to do business. And people are like, whoa, like they never hear something like that, right?
No, they don't. They don't.
You don't, right? So
I bought a car this past weekend.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I bought an Audi Q7.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm looking at $80,000 piece of merchandise. I'm up there. Yeah. I didn't pay that, but anyway.
Right.
Anyway, the experience. One dealership actually kept my driver's license.
It's crazy. And these are all stupid things that dealers are still doing, right? So if you're not. So I said this on somebody else's show a couple of weeks ago, but I had a conversation with somebody, and they're talking about Uber Eats. You know what Uber Eats is? Delivers food from you to all these restaurants. So he just signed up with it, and his business is booming. And he says it was a godsend, because all the other restaurants around him are doing Uber Eats. There was like 2 or 3 other Italian restaurants doing Uber Eats, and his business has been falling off. His in-restaurant business has been falling off, and he couldn't figure out why. It's because people don't want to necessarily go out on a Friday night or a Saturday night just to get a meal. right? They'd rather have it delivered. They don't want to go there and pick it up at the restaurant. If you force your process on everybody when there's a more efficient process out there, you're just giving me more business. It's exactly what I want. I want every dealership around me doing business the way it was done 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, because it's just going to make me look better every single time, right? So I'm the Uber Eats. I'm not the taxi cab company that doesn't realize that all they should have did was coming out with their own app and conform like the way that Uber did, rather than have to stand on the corner and hail a cab or go grab somebody, from the hotel to get you a cab or stand in a taxi cab line, right? There's always more efficient ways to do things. And if you're going to fight efficiency, especially nowadays, you're going to lose. You're always going to lose. No matter what it is, I will dominate every single time.
I'm looking at the sidebar right now. We got about 30 people on the sidebar right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Bradford, one of my general managers, he says, Frank, can you sell 100 cars a month anywhere, any location, anywhere in the country?
Absolutely. Drop me in, give me a couple months. I will build my business up. I'll build my brand, and I believe that I could do it. Will it happen right away? Absolutely not. But if I'm able to get ingrained with the community, like the way that I am here now, then yeah, you can. Can you just get dropped off in the middle of Wichita, Kansas, and Frank Crinite shows up and he's got this magic wand? No, because I'm not God's gift to the car business. I never have been, right? You don't have to be this unbelievable salesman. You don't have to have every rebuttal and every word track. There's a simple step-to-step process that you can go through with marketing. If God came down right now and said, Jim, would you rather be the best salesperson in the world or the best marketer in the world? To me, I would always say I want to be the best marketer right now in the world. Sales is what happens after you market yourself, right? So to me, I don't want Piazza Honda getting all the business, right? I don't want people coming to Piazza Honda. I need everybody coming into Frank Crinite Honda. So how do you do that? You have to be out on social media. I did it the hard way. I did it going to body shops, hairdressers, bartenders, insurance agents, like service stations. Like I actually hit the street, went out, shakes hands, bring donuts, bring coffee, found out who we did business with here at Piazza Honda. Right? You don't have to do that anymore. I mean, you should, but you don't have to. Right? I still stop by a lot of the gas stations here that send me business just to say hi, bring a cup of coffee every once in a while. I'm driving by, go out of my way a little bit, show my face, make sure that they know that I appreciate them, not just the $100 bird dog or whatever it is. That's the last reason that people send you a customer, right? They just send you a customer because you're not going to make them look bad, and you're going to be able to deliver the service that they know you can. That's why I refer anybody. The only way I refer any customer, friend, relative to any business is if I know they do business the right way. It's not for a trinket, a token, a dollar.
No.
It has nothing to do with anything. That's going to make me look bad if I send you somewhere. So you need to make sure you have your game up. But back to that, I'd rather be the best marketer. So if you drop me off in a somewhere, suburban to a city, somewhere, or even a small town, I might be able to dominate a small town more than I could dominate.
Yes, you could. You absolutely could.
There's hundreds of thousands of salesmen around me. There's dealerships everywhere. We're on what's called the Golden Mile. There's like 25 dealerships up and down here. So
I'm familiar.
Yeah. So it's.
I asked you a question earlier, and I'm gonna throw an answer out there, and then see what you think of the answer. What's the number one reason people blow deals? And I've been in 1,000 dealerships in 49 states. I've seen it.
They don't ask the right questions right from the beginning, right? So
the fear of the money. Fear of the money.
It's the fear of the money. It's the fear of the money, right? But at the same point, they don't ask the right questions to get there, right? So you go on a test drive. What do most people ask after a test drive? You get out of the car. What do most salesmen ask? Most salesmen ask. I'll answer for you. Most salesmen ask on a scale of 1 to 10. Where would you rate the car? Or what did you like about the car? Well, they're great questions, I guess. Not. They don't give you any of the information. So when I get done,
if we could get your budget, would you own it today?
Dumbest question in the world, right? So what I need to know is if I'm on the right piece of merchandise, and if there's any hurdles, rebuttals, or anything. So at the end, and if you're a salesman, write this down right now, because this is $1 million word track I'm going to give. I've made millions of dollars with this word track. So write it down exactly the way I say it. The customer puts the car in park, parks the car. Anything you didn't like about your car, anything you didn't like about the Pilot, this Pilot right now, anything you didn't like about that car, what's that going to do? A, they're going to say, oh my God, I love it. It's the perfect car. Great. Come on inside. We'll take care of everything, right? And you just go through all your processes. But if you're on the wrong car, they're going to spit up the rebuttal right there. Anything you didn't like about the car? Well, it's a little tight in the driver's seat, right? And if you ask those other questions, you might have went in and tried to start negotiating or pricing that car. No matter what the price is, they were never going to buy it anyway. They're just a little embarrassed sometimes to tell you that. Customers are a little, hey, I just spent an hour with this guy. He test drove me. I don't really want to test drive another car. I feel like I'm wasting his time because I don't think they have a product that I want. So all those other questions don't get down and drill down the core question you need to be answering. Well, I like it, but okay. So what is that but? Is that but I like it, but I wish I had a moonroof? Great, model up, no problem. We pull up the Accord EX for you. I like it, I love it, but the color that I test drove, great. I can get over that. That's no big deal. We're on the right car right now. So you will save yourself a lot of time, a lot of aggravation, a lot of banging your head against the wall. Why can't I sell this customer? You were not asking the right questions from Jump Street, right? Because I mean, to me, if I go in somewhere and I feel like I'm not getting the answers that I want, or I'm not being shown the right stuff, I kind of just, I don't want to waste your time anymore. I'm good. I'll go figure it out myself somewhere else, right? And that's the way most people think. They feel like they're wasting your time. They're not going to buy anything from you. But if you ask the right questions, you'll get the right answers. A, you won't waste your time. The customer will feel like you care about them rather than, just trying to sell them something. So ask the right questions.
The right questions. Most salespeople, and not you, but most salespeople are afraid of the money because they can't buy the car they're selling themselves.
Right. So one of the biggest things that I ever did that's changed my whole mindset is if I see value, I stopped asking for a discount. I just pay. I know people's like, oh, well, you have money and all this stuff. It has nothing to do with that. It has zero to do with that. If I see value in the product that you're presenting to me, you may give me a discount, but I'll probably never ask for one. If I see the value and you explain to me, why this nice watch is, worth what it's worth, or I just love it, I'm gonna buy it, and you're really nice to me and you walk me through the process, you make me feel good, you get me a bottle of water, and you show me around, you introduce me to everybody, I'll take it. No problem. Sign me up. I'm in 100%. I'm not there to break anybody's stones. Everybody has to make a living. Once you change your mindset of asking for discounts on everything, then you'll be able to present and build value in yourself when you're actually out doing that, doing your job every day. It doesn't matter, again, what you're selling, watches, cars, shoes, widgets. It doesn't make a difference. You can apply these principles to anything in life for sales. So once I stopped doing that, like I used to always have to feel like I'm the sales guy, right? So I always had to feel like I was the negotiator. People would bring me, my best friend would bring me to negotiate on everything, stereos, beds, the whole nine. And it's like you're grinding. And we go like, we hate grinders, right? We just want to give you all the information. I stopped. I changed my mindset. It's changed things immensely for me. So I definitely don't worry about the money, right? You never know what anybody can afford.
Ever grind the money, but I'm generally, because of who I am, I'm generally dealing with the owner of the store, the general manager.
Right. They're going to hook you up. They're going to want you to feel like you're getting a good deal. I get it.
But I walked in a dealership this past weekend, and I didn't know anybody in the product line I was looking for. So and they knew I was Jim Ziegler. I'm wearing the hat. And they know me. So one of them just gave me all the money.
Sure.
I mean, I didn't have to ask for it. He just gave me all the other one looked at me like a trophy buck.
Right. I treat every customer the same way. When I was 19 years old, I totaled my car. I had my hat on backwards. I had a check in my back pocket for $28,000 from my credit union. It was Memorial weekend. All I wanted was a Nissan Maxima, brand new Nissan Maxima. I went to the dealership that I bought my Maxima for, my used car that I went there with my parents a year and a half ago. They basically told me to go back and get my parents, right, to come back in.
They did what?
They told me to go get my parents, basically, right, because that was how I bought my car last time. So they were assuming that I would need that again this time, right? They didn't really give me the time of day. The next dealership I went to, I walked around on the lot. probably for like 20, 25 minutes. It felt like 2 or 3 hours. You're like, okay, what's wrong? Am I not dressed nice enough? My hat, I turned it around. I went to the third dealership. The guy came out, asked me what I was looking for. I said, I want a black Nissan Maxima. I want it today. I'm going down the shore for the weekend. And he's like, no problem. He came back. He's like, listen, I don't have black, but I have exactly what you're looking for with a black tan. I'm like, can you just pull it up for me? So he pulls it up for me, goes over the whole car with me, shows me that everything works. I didn't even care. I just wanted the car, right? Asked me if there was anybody else that I needed to make the decision for me. I said, well, I don't, but I said, my uncle, he, kind of always advises us when we buy cars. He goes, is he local? I said, yeah, he's right down the street. Do you want to call him or do you want to take the car by his house? I'm like, you could let me take the car. He's like, yeah, just fill out this insurance form, take it by, I'll be here till whatever time. I did that. My uncle said, listen, just offer him a fair deal, offer him between 500 and 800 over invoice back then. And I went back. Guy presented everything to me. I asked him if he could show me the invoice. He said, no problem. I asked him if I can pay, $500 over. I think we settled somewhere in the middle. I got my car, right? All the guy did was come out, say hi, greet me, treat me like my money was green. So from that experience, like, I know how it felt. I felt like a second-class citizen walking around these lots, and I had a check in my pocket for almost $30,000, and I had $5,000 for a regular check that I was going to write for the difference for the down payment that I got from my total car. Yeah. And nobody would talk to me. My money was green, and nobody would actually talk to me and give me the information that I was looking for. I just wanted to buy a car. So I don't care how you come in dressed. I treat everybody like you're a qualified customer, client, friend, and that we can do business together.
Amazing. I actually had a dealer this past weekend lay a payment grid in front of me.
Right. No, I'm striking a check.
I'm Jim Ziegler. I teach that.
Right. That's it. That's all good.
What are you doing? I couldn't believe I had to get a payment grid in my face. So you're selling 100 cars a month. You got to have tremendous networking ability. You've got social media. You're working social media. You're working the circle of influence of each one of your customers.
Every time. You're wasting your time selling one person a car and not doing that every time, right? You'd rather multiply your money in your customer base rather than just add your customer base. So again, if you're trying to win by addition, you're going to lose. You're never going to be more than average. So there's things you can do everything in the world that I do on my Facebook page, and you'll never be as successful because you don't see all the behind the scenes stuff that I'm teaching, right? So how to go in and actually what to say to somebody after they like your post, like your comment. Like, they're people that have engaged. So if somebody engages, they're the rules of engagement. If you like my post, hey, I'm going to go in and engage. I can send you an instant message at that point. Hey, just wanted to know, I sold your friend, Jim a car. I seen you like my post. Just want to touch base with you to let you know that, I'll give you the same great service if you needed it. Any questions or you ever have in your automotive needs, just let me know. And that's it, like soft. You don't ever want to, aggressively, hey, I'm trying to sell, I can help you out. What are you driving? Like stupid questions, right? You just want to make sure that you're engaging people. These are actual prospects. People that are liking your post are actual prospects. So if you're posting something, you're getting 10 likes and people are like, oh, I only got 10 likes. Well, you're looking at it the wrong way. They're 10 prospects. They're 10 potential customers. They're 10 people that have engaged you to say, hey, I like it. I love it. Great. Beautiful. Here's my instant message. To me, it blows my mind that people just actually don't see through what social media actually is. It's social. It's the same thing if you're out at a restaurant and I see you sitting over at a table, a couple tables over. If you just wave to me, aka you liked my post, right? And I just wave back to you, be like, thanks, a jerk. You just waved to me. I'm going to walk over. I'm going to send you a drink. I'm going to say, Jim, how are you? It looked good to see you. It's been a while.
It's so the earbuds.
The earbuds, right? See,
yeah.
Listen, to me, it's all about over delivering, right? So, I see somebody that, I can help advance. I can help move through technology. I can send a little trinket or something, and they're going to remember me. It's so silly not to. It's so silly not to. You're wasting your time. You might as well just shut your Facebook page down, or just you have a closed Facebook page where you, your family, and your friends, and not even bother, because you're just wasting your time at that point.
I've had people that, and car dealers are my customers.
Yeah.
car managers are my customers.
Yeah, they're my people.
So
I like them.
yeah, they're my people, and I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody that got terminated from a job or lost a job or got laid off, and I'll call them up. Well, what can I do to help you?
Yeah, exactly, man. Because you
It's
have that relationship, right?
easy to be your friend when you're on top.
Trust me, I know, man. I shouldn't say I try. I treat everybody the same. It doesn't matter who you are, right? So I want to know about your friends. I want to know about your family. I want to make sure that you're doing the right thing for yourself in, whatever car you're getting. It doesn't matter if you can only spend $150 a month. You have 5,000 cash, or you can come in and stroke me a check, for a car that I have at one of my Maserati stores or something like that. It doesn't matter, right? You treat everybody the same, and the same thing. People go through hard times. They joke here about a lot of times. They call me the Dr. Phil of the car dealership, right? Because you have to be more of a psychiatrist, psychologist than you do a salesman or a marketer, right? You actually have to listen. So actually, you know what? You don't have to listen. That's one of the things that I actually stopped doing is I stopped really listening to what people say, and I started understanding to what they were trying to tell me, because not everybody knows how to tell you what they really mean. So you have to really listen to people and be able to get it
Mhm.
out of them to walk them through what they really need. So um, again, I go through, I try to help everybody the same way. It doesn't matter what you can do for me, what you can't do for me, how many customers you send me. You never know what that potentially could end up being. So
It's that way.
yeah.
What would you say? What would you say if somebody on the sidebar, and we got this audience is sticking with us here.
Hey, people like me.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a rascal that if he walks in your dealership, you need to handcuff him, hold him for reward. Ken
I don't
Walls.
have assistants, but I have bouncers.
Ken
So
Walls.
when Ken was here for a couple days at the delership, so he can answer the question about how I go through the processes. But the first question he said to me, like he's sitting here day two, he's like, "Dude," I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Do the rest of the salespeople hate you?" I'm like, "You know what? I've never actually asked them." So I went around with my camera and my selfie stick, and I asked everyone. I'm like, "Yo, Theo." He's like, "Oh, what's up, man?" I'm like, "Can I ask you a question?" He's like, "Yeah, what's up?" I'm like, "Do you hate me?" He goes, "Why would I hate you? You always help me, and you're always there." And I went around to every single salesman and put them on the spot because I can read people. I'm like, "Do you guys hate me?" They're like, "Absolutely not. Why would we hate you?" I mean, you're very successful. You do the job the way that it's supposed to be done. You're not taking business from us. And as Ken's like, "Dude, I didn't want you to go around and ask everybody." I'm like, "Well, how else am I going to know unless I actually go ask everybody, right?" So
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the comments on the sidebar while you're talking. It's amazing. Um, like Jimmy Bradford said, could you sell a car anywhere? I've always said, if you could parachute me anywhere in the world
you're
naked,
selling yourself. You're
I
not
would
selling a
be in an
car.
apartment by the end of the week, and no money
Absolutely.
doesn't matter.
Absolutely, 100%. So
No
you're
fear of
sell,
being
you're sell,
broke.
you're selling yourself. It doesn't matter what product you're selling, what
No.
car you're selling. I don't. People are like, "Oh, you probably know everything about a car." I mean, I know my product knowledge and everything, but a lot of times people come in here, they've been reading about that specific model car for 2 weeks, if not longer, on their iPad. They know everything already, right? So if
Uh-huh.
you're forcing your salespeople to just sit there and product knowledge, you need to teach your salespeople how to communicate. Communication is the key right now. Asking the right questions, be able to look somebody in the eye, make sure they're confident. Having passion for your product to me is more important than having all the knowledge about my product, right? So I have extreme passion for everything that I sell. If I don't, I can't sell it, right? If I didn't like Smart Water or I didn't like Fiji, like if it was like some Aquafina or something like that, I can never sell it because I think it's crap, right? So to me, I always have
Uh-huh.
to see the value in the car, the product, the warranty, the service, and I purchase it myself, right? So if I can't purchase it myself, then I can't recommend it to somebody else to buy.
Wonderful. It's amazing to me because I've told salespeople before, why do you think we hired you? Because we suspected you had a personality.
Right.
And you're not using any of that personality in your sale.
Right. So if
You're,
I if
you're
I if I was a hiring manager right now, I'd be out headhunting in um, every social scene that I could possibly be in. Right. Bars, social groups, sporting events. I'd be out finding the person that can actually walk up and have a conversation with somebody rather than just be able to do their job. I don't need somebody to do their job to stand out, right? Because, the big question nowadays are salesmen, car salesmen eventually going to go away? Are they going to sell cars on Amazon? Can you go order a car from Walmart? And my long and short answer to that is yes. If you don't make yourself a relevant part of this process, if somebody doesn't need me for the efficiency, the information, the process of the sale, then yeah, I'm going to go away. There's going to be a lot of people, a lot of salespeople in the near future that they're not going to need. Dealerships will end up, cutting, or there'll be other places to actually purchase vehicles. So, but if you make yourself an efficient part of the process and you make yourself an integral part of the process that people actually need your service, then no, you're not going anywhere, right? You're going to stand the test of time. So that's what I'm doing every single day. I'm making myself an important part of the process to getting the job done, between when you start looking on the internet to all the way through.
Yeah.
If you have a problem afterwards, I'm here for you 100%. If I got to come pick you up or send a car or an Uber for you at 3 a.m, I got you. My phone's open 24/7, 365 days a year. I've been giving my cell phone out, 484-368-9000. I never give the dealership number out. I've been giving my cell phone number out for 15 years now since I've had this number. So everybody gets a hold of me for everything. And I make
There
sure
are
that they
still
know.
travel agents.
Right. You don't need travel agent anymore, right? But you do if you have a relationship with that person. You do if you don't want to do the work yourself, right? You do if you don't, want to go through the internet. A lot of times I just want to pay for efficiency. I'd rather just pay and have it done, right? I could probably dry clean my own clothes, I guess. Like, why would I want to do that? I drop it off at the dry cleaner, right? I could probably, do my own shoes and shine them up and everything. But I got a guy down the street, Lou the Shoe, I've been using forever since I got into the car business.
Lose the
He's
shoe.
awesome,
Okay.
Lou the Shoe. And when I go in there, he knows
Yeah.
everything about the whole community, right? He's like the Delco Delaware County Whisperer. He knows everything, so he fills me in on just about everything. So I want to make sure that I'm using that local business that helps me. Not just helps me with my shoes or resoles my shoes, my good shoes. He gives me all the information that might be pertinent to me, and then he's always got a customer for me every time I go in there.
Amazing. So many people don't know how to cultivate relationships. They don't know how to cultivate referrals.
No.
I tell people the best way to get referrals is give referrals.
Reciprocal business.
How many plumbers have you referred to that you sold a car, or electricians, or
A lot. Well,
tradespeople?
the insurance agents used to come in all the time. So the insurance agents would come in, hey, here's a thing of pretzels, and we'll give you $50 if you send somebody over, or $25 if they call. And I'm like, what? I don't really know you. I don't do business with you. But I started selling a couple insurance agent cars, and they would kind of come up with the same thing. I'm like, listen, I got an idea, and I think it's going to work out great for both of us, right? We have all these buying services. So when a client calls you, to go over their Honda quote, because that's the first person they usually call after they're at a dealership, is the insurance, to make sure the insurance is going to be okay, especially back in the day where you didn't do it online. I need you to be able to refer me as much business, if not more, that I refer you. And people are like, well, how do I do that? I'd be like, listen, just, say I have a guy over at Piazza Honda, Frank, he's doing really well in the community, selling a lot of cars. I personally bought a car from him. We actually have a buying service with all the numbers already worked out ahead of time. You could just call him or text him. Actually, I could drop an email with your information. He'll reach right out to you. That's the golden nugget right there. Not wait for that person to call you, but actually get that person's information to be able to reach out to them, right? Because if not, a referral sometimes gets lost in the shuffle of the universe here. But that's how I started growing my business, scaling my own business, getting referrals from local businesses, plumbers, electricians. When I flip houses or I have rental properties, I make sure that the people that I do business with are people that did business with me, not the cheapest guy, right? Nobody ever wants the cheapest guy. Well, a lot of people do want the cheapest guy. You're doing it wrong, right? So I make sure that if I have a tile guy that I sold a car to and I know him, I'm gonna get him to do my tile. I have an electrician, I know him, I'm gonna get him to do my electric, right? It's reciprocal business. People respect that more than anything.
And you sell 100 cars a month.
Go figure. It's crazy, right?
Oh.
I actually don't sell 100 cars a month. The community sells these cars for me. They build me up so big and send me over so many customers and clients. It's already almost done, when it gets here, as far as the comfort, the being comfortable, and walking in. If I had to start from A, that somebody sent in a lead on the internet, you got to get them, all the information they're looking for, and then bring it all the way through the whole A to Z process. There's no way for you to scale your business to the levels that I'm at the efficiency that I'm at. And that's what you really want to wean yourself off of, right? You need to wean yourself off of other business that everybody else in the world, race to the bottom, is contending with. People don't shop me for the most part because they know I'm going to take care of them. They know I have their best interest at heart. They've done business here before. They feel comfortable, right? They want to get their picture on Facebook. As much as they say they don't, they come in all dressed up because they know they're going to stand in front of my goofy sign over here, right, and take a picture. So
Yeah.
that's really where it's at.
Half of my career, I was in the car business 10 years before I started this.
Yep.
And half of that time I was an F&I manager.
Yep.
All the records I set in the business were F&I records. They were sales. I was a good salesman, but I wasn't a record-setting salesman.
Right.
I was
everybody has their niche, right?
I was a record-setting manager.
It's great.
And people, my salespeople, you're going to meet Mr. Ziegler, and I think he's going to approve your loan. Now, be sure to be wearing your best clothes. And they come in with their little Easter dresses, and their kids will have little patent shoes on to meet the F&I manager.
Yeah. We make it exciting, so I try to make it exciting.
It was a memorable experience.
Right. And we forget sometimes, right? People are like, well, how do you make it special for everybody? Well, it's you're buying a car, right? This is like a huge experience for everybody. You don't buy a car every day, so even if it's a used car, it's new to that person, right? So you need to make sure that you're making a big deal out of it. You're making it exciting. We're taking pictures on a red carpet. It's like a movie premiere, right? That we're doing. We're making sure that the car's all cleaned up, ready to go, outside, gleaming, tires shine all over it. I mean, these are the little things that you start to get lazy on because you start to get a little bit of success and then you start to get lazy on that I actually took to the next level.
Shirley Tabb, Inner Harbor Ford, Baltimore, Maryland, in the day.
Yep.
She was getting people with credit challenges approved before there was special finance.
Right.
And when she got them approved, their car was on the showroom floor with velvet theater ropes around it.
That's what I have. I got velvet ropes, everything. Yep.
Champagne in the trunk.
Yep.
3 glasses. They take a calendar picture, and it was. I mean, these people were credit challenged. They were being abused everywhere else.
Yeah, but they're customers, right? I don't see anything. You know what? Everybody has hard times. I've had hard times in my life, right? You've had hard times in your life. You can't smell yourself, right? You can't say, "Oh, I'm this." You can't be elitist. You can't judge people. I treat everybody with the same respect that I want myself treated with. So it doesn't matter to me. And the people that are having problems, I'll bend over backwards more for it, right? Because they're going through something in their life right now, and I'm going to come up with a plan for them. It's not just, hey, you're approved, and this is what it is, and the rate's high, and congratulations, at least you got approved. Well, that's not the right way to do business. The right way to do business is to actually sit there, mentor, and coach this person through what they have to do to clean their credit up a little bit. I have a credit guy I can refer you to. He's actually a legitimate credit guy, Credit Carl. He's actually not one of these places that Fugazi fixes your credit. They actually give you a plan. Make sure that you set up an auto debit for them. Make sure they can afford the payment that you're actually giving them so that in a year, 15, 16 months, you'll be able to take somebody from a high teens interest rate down to a single digit interest rate if they actually follow the plan and you give them the right vehicle with the right down payment, right? So to me, that has got me more referrals and more repeat business because they're not used to being treated that way, right? They're used to be treated, hey, you're approved, congratulations, here's the car the bank picked out for you. It's the only one we can get approved. Why? Because that's the car you want to sell. That's the car you're making the most gross on. That's the car that you have to get off the lot. That's the car that's approved. So you want to be lazy and not actually figure out what the customer's needs and wants or what you actually should be doing. They're the reasons why those dealerships and those customers don't get referrals. Those salespeople don't get referrals, because they know, maybe they might not know in the ether of the moment, but eventually that person's going to figure out they got ripped off, right? They're going to figure it out when they go to try to trade that car in. And even if they didn't get ripped off, they're going to feel like they got ripped off because you didn't follow up. You didn't give them a plan. You didn't invite them back to the dealership.
They didn't feel humanized.
Right.
They didn't feel like you treated them like a person.
Right. all my friends, all my clients are my boys. The desk will tell you, oh, let me guess, another one of your boys are here. Well, they are. Another one of my friends, like I'm like, oh, my buddy's here, my friend's here. It's like, what is it? A boy, a friend, a buddy, a family member. I'm like, but they are. They're all my friends. I
Yeah,
have a
of
lot of
course they are.
friends.
Of course they are.
People like me. I
You
can't
know,
figure it out. I don't know.
his name was Irving Silver.
Mhm.
Irving Silver was the world record holding salesperson at one point in history before Joe Girard. I mean, and I asked Irving how he sold so many cars. He was the world record holder for Jaguar sales.
It's awesome.
He sold like 1,800 of them in 2 years. I mean, it was just incredible.
Jaguars. Wow.
Jaguars. I mean, they were falling apart.
It's crazy.
So I asked Irving, I said, Irving, how did you sell so many cars? He says, Jim, I was memorable.
Right.
Think about that.
People remember you. They know
That's
they know
Frank
what to see.
Crinite.
Right.
That's
Most
you.
people walk out of a dealership or buy anything, and 5 seconds later, I can ask them, what was your salesman's name? They'll have no idea. But now we're friends. You just took a picture with me. We went through the process. I made it exciting. I did, the dog and pony show if you wanted it, or I got you through. I sped you through because that's your A personality. You want to just be in.
I give the people the business card when I first meet them.
Right.
Everybody else does.
I text it and I make sure they save it in their phone now.
They cheat and remember your name.
Yeah, it's one of the things my buddy Ken Walls, he hooked me up with. Franksfans.com, boom, my whole business card downloads. So I text everybody right there, franksfans.com, boom, my business card downloads right to your phone. It's right there. You can just, save it in your contacts.
You can't, I don't know why, but you can't help but like Walls. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know why either.
I don't know why either. Just one of those deals. Frank,
he's got me doing the 75-day workout thing right now. I got to tell you, I'm on day 2, and I overdid it yesterday. I worked out 3 times instead of 2 times out in this heat. I am the sorest I've been since football camp when I was like 15 years old. I woke up, I was stiff as a board, my chest, my arms, my legs. But I got up and I mentally told myself that I was going to do it again today. I was like, I'll just work out later tonight.
And you got to do it again tomorrow.
And the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day till it's your routine, right? This can't be just something that you do. It has to be something that you actually believe in and want to do every single day. And it becomes natural routine. Same thing in sales. This isn't something that you do. This isn't a word track that you learn. This isn't, you make a couple posts and all of a sudden, you have all these clients coming in. You have to make sure this is in your repertoire every single day.
I tell people learn the content of the word track. It's not memorization. Right. It's conversation, not memorization, conversation.
That's it.
You're talking with the people. You're not talking at the people. And, there's so much of that going on right now. There's certain F&I schools, and I teach a lot of F&I. It just, they sound like little robots.
I don't want to buy from a robot. I want to buy from a real person.
Yeah.
If I want to buy from a robot, I don't go to the mall anymore. I Amazon everything, right? So Amazon, I just click on it and buy it. Like I don't go to Apple. I don't go to anything unless I'm going to pick out maybe clothes or something like that. To me, it's hard to pick out clothes online. Like I need to actually see it, feel it, make sure the material is what I want. But anything else, I just buy online. I just click and boom, get it delivered. Like I like efficiency. I don't want to spend 3 hours at the mall, to go buy whatever it is, an iPad or something like that. And that's what it ends up being, 3 hours by the time you leave your house, get dressed, go to the mall, go through the process, fill out paperwork, buy the thing, walk around, get something to eat. It's 3 hours. Well, 3 hours, I could be learning, I could be teaching, I could be selling, I could be helping other people, I could be hanging out with my kids, I could be doing other things. So efficiency, to me, I'll pay for every time. Will I pay a lot more? No, but I'll pay Amazon less for the efficiency, right? So you need to make sure that you're conforming to the way that customers want to do business, or you're going to get left in the wayside. You're just going to be average, And
we have an Amazon truck pull up here at least once, 2, 3 times a week.
Sure, 2, 3 times a day at my house, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. We don't want to go anywhere. Yeah.
Well, you got to go sell something. I
probably have people waiting everywhere, but this has been so fun. Like I'm enjoying it. I can sit here.
Look at. I mean, hey, I'm telling you, it's like handing the baton.
That's it.
Here's the next generation. Alpha Dog. I'm not going to retire. I'm going to die on stage in front of a cheering audience. So
I could never retire. Like to me, people are like, oh, what are you going to do? You're going to stop selling cars? You predominate? I'm like, no. Like I still have passion. My goal is to sell more cars in the history of the car business than anybody ever has. I'm on pace this year You know, total, I'll be like 14,000 cars, and I'm just going to keep scaling that, you know,
Yeah.
just to come up with, you know, numbers that I know in my head and written down, you know, where I want to be, and you know, and I could still, you know, conquer other aspects of business, just about everything.
You and I are the last gladiators.
There's still some gladiators out there. They're just
Yeah, yeah.
they just don't put
We're
themselves out there.
we're the last generation of gladiators.